You know what's crazy? Everyone keeps telling you to learn machine learning or get certified in every single data tool under the sun to become a data analyst. But here's the uncomfortable truth that no one wants to admit. Most of those tools that everyone is obsessing over won't actually get you hired. 5 years ago, I was delivering pizzas for $8 an hour, drowning in online tutorial hell and learning every flashy tool I could find. And you know what happened? Absolutely nothing. Zero interviews, radio silence. And then I discovered something that changed everything. The tools that actually got me hired and helped me land a data analyst role, they weren't the ones that everyone were raving about online. They were boring and they were basic, but they were the actual ones that the companies were hiring for. And in this video, I'm going to reveal the 5 specific tools that took me from delivering pizzas to becoming a data analyst, and more importantly, the exact order that you need to learn them in. Because if you're still chasing the shiny objects while ignoring the fundamentals, you're going to stay stuck in the job market while people with half your technical skills are going to get hired left and right. What I'm about to share with you goes against everything you've been told about breaking into data analytics. Let me start with something that might sting a little. If you're spending your time with TensorFlow, diving into deep machine learning algorithms, or trying to master every single Python library out there, you're playing the wrong game entirely. And I see this all the time. People come to me with resumes packed with fancy certifications, degrees, and advanced tools, wondering why they're not getting any callbacks. Meanwhile, someone with basic Excel skills and solid SQL knowledge is walking into high-paying roles daily. Here's what's really happening right now in the job market. Companies don't need data scientists disguised as analysts. They need people who can solve business problems with the right tools, not the fanciest ones. So tool number 1, Excel, your secret weapon. I know, you're probably rolling your eyes right now thinking, Excel? Really? That's so basic. But here's the thing, Excel isn't basic when you actually know how to use it properly. And most people don't. When I landed my first data analyst role, 50% of my daily work happened in Excel. Not Python, not R, Excel. Because that's where the business lives. That's where stakeholders are comfortable, and that's where a real decision gets made. When I'm not talking about knowing how to make a pivot table, I'm talking about becoming an Excel power user. So here's what actually matters. Power Query. This is your data cleaning superpower. While everyone else is manually copying and pasting data, you're automating the entire process. I've seen people save 20 hours a week just by mastering Power Query. Advanced formulas, XLOOKUP, index match, and array formulas. These aren't just nice to haves anymore. They're the difference between looking like a beginner and looking like someone who could actually solve problems. Data visualization in Excel. Before you even touch Tableau or Power BI, you need to master creating clean professional charts in Excel. Because guess what? Your first presentation of leadership isn't going to be a fancy dashboard. It's going to be a PowerPoint with Excel charts. Here's a real example. In my first role, I automated a weekly reporting process that was taking my predecessor about 5 hours every Monday. I used Power Query to pull the data from multiple sources and clean it automatically and generate executive style reports in under 15 minutes. That single project made me indispensable in that moment. And if I just went too fast, that's okay. I can teach you how to do that step by step with my one-on-one coaching program. Click the link in the description. Tool number 2, SQL, the real gatekeeper. If Excel is your foundation, SQL is your gateway to everything else. And I literally mean everything. You cannot, and I repeat, you cannot be a data analyst with solid SQL skills. It's not optional. It is not a nice to have. It is the price of entry. But here's where most people go wrong. They learn the basic select statements and think they're ready to go. That's like learning to drive in a parking lot and thinking you can handle the highway. Here's what you actually need to master. Joins, inner join, left, and outer join, and when to use each one. I've seen people fail technical interviews because they couldn't explain the difference. Window functions, row number, rank, lag, lead. These are what separates beginners from people who actually know what you're doing. CTEs and subqueries. When your queries get complex, you need to know how to structure them properly. Messy code is a red flag to any hiring manager. Data cleaning in Excel. Real data is messy, and you need to know how to handle nulls, duplicates, and inconsistent formatting without breaking a sweat. I remember my first technical interview, they gave me a data set with customer transactions and asked me to find the top 3 products by revenue for each month. Sounds pretty simple, right? But it required window functions, proper grouping, and clean logic. The person before me couldn't even do it. I locked it in about roughly 10 minutes. And guess who got the job? Tool number 3, Tableau or Power BI. Pick one and master it. Here's where everyone gets it wrong. They try to learn both Tableau and Power BI at the same time, thinking it will make them more marketable, but it doesn't. It actually makes you mediocre at both. So pick one, master it. then worry about the other one later. I personally chose Tableau, and here's why I got me hired. I didn't just learn how to drag and drop fields, I learned how to tell stories with data. Dashboard design principles, color theory, layout, hierarchy. Most people's dashboards look like someone just threw charts on a wall and hoped something would stick. Calculated fields. You need to be able to create custom metrics on the fly. If you can only visualize data that's already perfectly formatted, you're not ready for the real world. Performance optimization. When your dashboard takes 30 seconds or more to load, nobody's going to read it. You need to know how to build fast, efficient visualizations. And here's the secret sauce. Learn how to think like a business user, not just a data person. Your dashboards isn't about showing off how much data you can cram into one screen. It's about answering specific business questions clearly and quickly. Tool number 4, PowerPoint, the tool that nobody talks about. This is the one that's going to surprise you. But Kanisha, if you're thinking PowerPoint isn't a data tool, wrong. PowerPoint is how you get promoted. Data analysts don't just analyze data, they communicate insights. They influence decisions. They present to executives who don't have time to think through all the data. You need to be able to master consulting style presentations. One idea per slide. If your slide has like 5 different charts with a whole bunch of bullet points, you're already losing your audience. Action-oriented titles. Not Q3 sales data, but Q3 sales dropped by 50% due to supply chain issues. Executive summary first. Lead with the answer and then support it with the data, not the other way around. I've seen brilliant analysts get passed over for promotions or even hiring just because they couldn't communicate their findings clearly. So don't be that person. Tool number 5, Python. Before you get excited, let me be clear about something. You don't need to be a Python expert to get hired as a data analyst. You just need to be a Python problem solver. So forget about machine learning for now. Forget about deep learning. Focus on the Python that actually matters for data analysts. So, pandas for data manipulation, reading in files, cleaning data, merging data sets. This is your bread and butter. Data automation. Can you take a manual process and automate it? That's where the real value is. Here's the key. Use Python to solve problems that Excel and SQL can't handle efficiently. Larger data sets, complex transformations, automations, that's it. Now, here's the part everyone gets wrong. The order that you learn these tools in. Most people will jump straight into Python because it sounds impressive. But that's just completely backwards. So here's the right sequence. First, Excel. Build your analytical thinking in a tool you can see and touch and easy to learn. SQL. Learn to access and manipulate data at scale. Tableau and Power BI. Visualize your insights professionally. PowerPoint. Communicate your findings efficiently. And Python. Automate and scale what you've already mastered. Why this order? Because each tool builds on the previous one. You can't build meaningful Python scripts if you don't understand the analytical process from Excel. Now, here's what I wish someone told me 5 years ago. Tools alone don't get you hired. Problem solving is what gets you hired. Companies don't care about the 15 different programming languages that you may know. They care if you can take their messy business problem, figure out what data that they need, clean it up, analyze it, and present actual insights that drive decisions. I've seen people get hired who only knew SQL and Excel very well because they could think like analysts. I've also seen people get passed on who were computer science degree holders, but they couldn't translate the technical into true business value. The tools are just vehicles. The destination is solving business problems. So look, I get it. The data analytics space feels overwhelming. Everyone's telling you to learn different things, and it's hard to figure out where to focus your time. But here's the truth. You don't need to learn everything. You just need to know the right things in the right order at the right level. And these 5 tools that I just walked through, Excel, SQL, Tableau, Power BI, PowerPoint, and Python, these aren't just random recommendations. This is the exact toolkit that took me from delivering pizzas to 6-figure data analyst job roles. And it's the exact same toolkit I have used to help over thousands of other career changers do the exact same thing. The difference between people who get hired and the people who stay stuck is a talent. It's strategy. And if you're serious about breaking into data analytics and want to skip the trial and error that cost me months, or even some mistakes that cost me years of wasted time, I've got something just for you. Click the link in the description to access my free training where I break down the complete roadmap for landing your data analyst role in under 6 months without going back to school or spending thousands on boot camps that don't work. In the training, you'll get the exact step-by-step process that my students use to go from complete beginners to hired data analysts, including portfolio projects that actually get interviews and interview strategies that close offers. But you don't want to wait on this. The data analytics job market is competitive, but it's also full of opportunities for people who know how to position themselves correctly. So click that link and get the free training and let's get you hired. To know the exact tools that get you hired, you're probably wondering, what specific role should I be targeting? Because here's the thing, while everyone's fighting over the basic data analyst positions, there are five high paying data roles that most people don't even know exist. I'm talking 150K, 200K, even all the way to 374K a year. So click here to discover these hidden opportunities and find out which one matches your background perfectly.